This is not a normal road bike, but neither is it a gravel bike either. The makers have tried to hit a sweet spot somewhere between the two. Have they succeeded, or have they missed the mark completely? I'll tell you right now, I think they have hit it spot on. In fact, I'd go so far as to argue that this is the sort of road bike that many of us should be riding. I mean, you have to be fairly special to actually need an aero road bike. Or for that matter, do you really need a race bike? I mean, if you are, great. But in many cases, this sort of bike would do most of us really well.
This is the all-road bike from the boutique Norwegian brand Fara. Think mile-munching endurance bike with greater clearances for wider tyres. These say they're 35mm but measure 38, and there's only just enough clearance. It rolls well on tarmac, bounces over potholes, and even tackles gravel and forest tracks, although you would need to change those tyres for wet mud. I recently set it the task of taking me 100 kilometres down one of Scotland's long-distance off-road trails, the Dava Way, and then tackling the sequence of hills that make up one of the snow roads to the east of the Cairngorm Mountains. The bike proved an absolute joy on and off-road. It's much more like a zippy endurance road bike and absolutely not a gravel bike with slicks. I felt as much at the time.
This is the first ride of any real length I've done on it, and I've just taken to it perfectly. I've set the saddle, put my own stem on, and you know, it fits. I haven't had to go through any fancy bike fitting procedures. It's a comfortable bike, and it's a nippy one too.
Fara sells direct to customers and its prices are keen, helped by Norway's free trade agreement with the UK. This version with Force AXS ETAP 2x is around £5,000 and they come off the peg or with customised kit. There's been criticism that the high front end doesn't blend with the shorter rear, but I don't see that. I like the looks and depth of colour, although as I said, I did fit my own stem, didn't like the 3T one. A quick tour of what's not immediately obvious. There's a third bottle cage mount underneath where I've attached the plastic frame protector that came with the bike. Mudguard mounts are nicely tucked away. Fork luggage mounts are discreet, and top tube bento box mounts. It's all about riding far in comfort.
Fara has partnered with a luggage manufacturer and Fidlock, the people who make the magnetic water bottle holders, to make their own luggage. They have these little fastening points on the frame pack and 4 magnetic mounts on the actual frame, so that to put the luggage in place you just clip it. And anybody who's tried to use bike packing luggage with straps knows that is really quick.
On my ride, I had an issue with those magnetic frame mounts. One fell off and others came undone.
Oh, there's still some thread in there.
The pack stayed secure, and this is simply cured with a dab of Loctite when assembling. But look at the rear pack sway. The repeated slackening of the side straps was an issue. There's also a front end rattle. I think it's coming from the curious way they've chosen to route the internal cables. Another bike reviewer, who rides a lot more bikes than me, has compared this £5,000 bike favourably to an £8,000 Trek Domani. So that's flattering.
If you primarily ride on road, you don't race, you don't Strava segment hunt, then I'd argue this is probably the sort of bike you should be looking at, regardless of whether or not it's the Fara. It's certainly moved to the top of the list of bikes I would like to buy next. Because after all, roads don't seem to be getting any smoother, certainly not around here. And the Fara all-road, well, it does what it says on the tin.
To watch the full video of my 2-day ride on the Fara to record a podcast with former British mountain bike champion Lee Craigie, click here. I'm pretty sure you will enjoy it. Give me a thumbs up please, and I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.